Grace, welcome to She's Wealthy.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I'm super excited to have you here. This is like the first episode where we're going to be talking about nutrition, hormones, gut health, peptides, so many things that I don't understand and have so many questions on. So I'm probably going to be like actively learning with the audience here. I realized I actually don't know this. How did you get started as a holistic nutritionist?
So my whole life, I've been like into health and wellness. I think I told you about this story about my grandpa and how he's like an energy healer.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was introduced to all that stuff really young.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's a chiropractor. So I always just was like in the holistic mind-body connection realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting really bad stomach issues in college. And I was vegan at the time. And yeah.
Zoom on the face.
Yeah, zoom on the face.
Sorry.
No, but there's nothing wrong with the vegan diet. I just don't think it works for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it worked really well for a couple of years. And then I started getting a lot of issues. And at the time, I didn't really understand why I was having these health problems, because what everybody said was that the vegan diet was like the best diet out there. And when you're kind of in that feedback loop, it's really hard to get yourself out of it. And so I was in college and I got to the point where like everything was making me bloated. Like I would eat a grape and I would be like 6 months pregnant, bloated.
Totally understand. Yep.
And I think to people on the outside, if you haven't dealt with stomach issues like that, it sounds like really trivial. Like you're just like, oh, I'm just getting bloated. But when you're like in the depths of it, it really affects
everything in your life.
Everything. Mm-hmm. Like your mental health, your relationship with food, your social life. And in college, I was on a dance team and we had to wear these like tiny little outfits. Mm-hmm. And so I can't like go out on the court and be bloated.
And you feel like 6 months pregnant.
Yeah. Like it was terrible. So it started to really affect me in a lot of ways. And I started to like not eat before games and even the days of games. So I was vastly under eating like mostly vegetables when I could, and like depriving myself of protein and healthy fats and all of these sorts of things. And I ended up losing my period. So now I had digestive problems and hormone problems. And so it kind of just like sent me into this journey of really learning about holistic health and wellness, and like actually diving into nutrition and learning about the science behind it and bioindividuality and how everyone's body is so different, and how the vegan diet can work for one person and not work at all for the next person. And I just got really, really invested and obsessed with gut health and started listening to a ton of podcasts. And this was like 5 years after, and I had like healed myself and felt so much better. And I was like, let me just get certified to be a holistic nutritionist because I know so much about this. And yeah, that's how I
And then when did you start posting on social media?
It was around COVID time. So I think it was like 2021.
2021. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I started on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And TikTok was so different back then. Like it was,
you could post anything and you'd go
literally anything. Yeah. And I would post like the most simple videos that took me like 2 seconds, and it would get so many views, and you'd get so many followers back then from that. Mm-hmm. So then that started building on TikTok, and then that moved over to Instagram, and then I just started getting clients and
okay, cool. I want to talk about social media in a second, but before I forget, let's talk about the bloating situation for people. Because I think that people's, at least my gut instinct was similar to yours. When you're bloated, it's like eat less, deprive yourself because you want your stomach to like quote unquote shrink. Mm-hmm. What is like the actual, I'm sure there's so much to this, but what is actually going on with bloating and what should people do?
So the biggest one I think is stress, because our brain and our gut and our nervous system are also connected. The second one is if you have a slow digestive system, a lot of it's like a motility issue, like how fast or slow things are moving through you. And if you're stressed, it slows your digestive system way down. And so food basically gets stuck in the wrong place and it starts to ferment with all of the bacteria in there. Yeah. And that's what causes gas and bloating. And that's why when you're actually bloated and distended, like your stomach feels hard to the touch, because it's just like a bunch of gas buildup in there.
Yeah. Okay. I want to circle back to that when we talk about GLP-1s, but when we met up like a couple months ago and I was having like massive bloating issues.
Yeah.
And something I did was I was taking a ton of fiber because I was like, oh, things aren't moving. But the fiber made it worse because then I learned that like the bacteria in your gut feed off the fiber and then it produces more like not oxygen or like carbon something.
Yeah.
But it makes it worse basically.
Yeah.
So it's so sensitive.
It's so sensitive. And that's the thing with advice to eat more fiber. Fiber is amazing. Like I think we all should be eating more fiber. But within reason and at the right time. Because if you have slow motility and you can't break down foods and fiber as well because you don't have enough digestive enzymes or stomach acid, that is going to make your symptoms like 10 times worse. And that's where it's tough because most of the advice is, oh, go take Metamucil, go get a fiber supplement, eat more vegetables. And that's great advice for some people, but for the majority of people, when you're sensitive, it's not good advice.
Yeah. So how can people start like figuring out the root of their gut issues? If they're having like slow digestion, a lot of bloating, how can they start to figure out like what is causing it? Should they start with like a intolerance test or like a GI map, or where do you even begin?
I think first start with the basics before you even do testing, because testing can be expensive and sometimes it's not accurate, especially the food sensitivity test, which I can get into a whole spiel on those
Okay,
things.
yeah. Because I've seen the food sensitivity test, I feel like it gives you a list of like 500 foods and you're like, what the hell do I eat?
I know. And then people end up cutting out all of the foods that show up on their thing.
Yeah.
And then they're in an even more restrictive diet than they probably were before.
Right.
But so the food sensitivity test, it's testing for your body's response to different proteins in food.
Okay.
So basically, have you heard of leaky gut?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've heard
So leaky gut is basically you have something called an epithelial layer, and it's just a one cell thick wall that kind of lines all of your intestines. And when you eat, certain proteins from the food are supposed to pass through, certain are not. It's kind of like a filter. And when you have a leaky gut, those cells are not as tight as they should be. And so everything starts passing through and kind of setting off your immune system.
I see. Okay.
And that immune response is what's showing up on the test. So if you have a damaged epithelial layer, then basically everything that you've been eating is going to show up on the test, which doesn't necessarily indicate you have a sensitivity to the food.
Right.
It just indicates that you have a damaged epithelial layer. So
how do you start repairing that? Yeah.
One is remove things that are causing the inflammation, which are antibiotics, things like Tylenol, ibuprofen, alcohol, and ultra-processed foods and pesticides.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not something that happens like overnight, but just like kind of trying to mitigate those things and lowering the inflammation in your body. And that's also at the root of a lot of autoimmune conditions too.
Okay.
So it's all connected.
Yeah, I see. Okay, that's super interesting. I know, because those tests are like, they really have so many foods on them.
So many.
And it's good to know that like you can heal it from a root cause basis rather than like have to eliminate 90% of foods on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what's the difference between that and a GI map?
So a GI map is testing all of the bacteria, the yeast, any parasites, inflammatory markers in your gut. So it's actually testing. It's like, have you done a GI map before?
No, I honestly have one. This is why I'm asking. I have one sitting at home that I've been staring at for like 2 weeks, and I need to send it in.
Well, yeah, because you have to poop in a box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just like staring at it every day, like, is today the day? Maybe not. Yeah. Because I want to do one of those 4-month like cell core like detox protocols. Right. So I want to have a sense of like what's going on before I do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, the GI map is amazing. Like, it really gives you a look inside what's actually happening, whereas the food sensitivity test is just testing your blood, where like you're actually testing your stool and you can see the bacteria and all those sorts of things. And a lot of people end up having like parasites or like a lot of high opportunistic bacteria, which is causing a lot of their issues.
Yeah.
So then when you actually can get that information, then you can make a personalized plan, because everyone's so different.
Everyone's different. Tough. Yeah. Have you heard of those detox protocols, like the cell core one?
No.
So it's like a 4-month thing, and in the first, it's these pills that you take from Cellcore. I don't know the specific like ingredients of them. You'd have to look. But the first month is like you're detoxing heavy metals, toxins, mold, and then later on is when like the parasites will start coming out if you have parasites. But what's really important with it that I'm like trying to lock into a routine with is that you're actually like detoxing by yourself. Like things are moving regularly, like you're sweating a lot, because otherwise it's like if that stuff starts getting released, then it's wreaks havoc and you're going to have like horrible symptoms.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I feel like that is it's so important that you said that, because a lot of people do these crazy detox protocols and their detox pathways aren't open. And then they start feeling really, really horrible. And they have this, it's called a Herx reaction.
Yeah.
And I actually got that when I was dealing with all my stuff because I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like researching and doing it myself. And I had a really bad candida overgrowth, and I went like so crazy with the detox, and I like literally got the flu and felt like I was dying like for 2 weeks. And I didn't know what it was. And then I started looking it up, and I was like, oh my God, I just gave myself a Herx reaction because I didn't know what I was doing.
Because all the candida started like coming.
It's when your body can't like fully get rid of it. So it's kind of just like in your system, and then all of your symptoms get 10 times worse.
Yeah. And I've heard also during those cleanses that you can actually release a lot of emotional stuff too, which I didn't realize. So I'm like, all right, these 4 months are going to be intense. So, yeah, for anybody that's like wanting to really figure out like the association between what should I be eating for my body, what makes me feel good, like where can they start? Like what sort of tests should they be doing? What sort of practitioner should they be seeing to read the test? How can you start understanding like your blood markers? Like I feel like there's just so much, and it's like, where do you start to figure out your plan?
Yeah, I think step 1 is doing like a dietary audit, and just make sure that you're doing the basic things, because I feel like people jump so much to the testing and the supplements when they're not doing the basics, like sleeping 8 hours a night, drinking enough water, eating whole foods, not drinking alcohol, not doing drugs, like managing your stress. And it all sounds so annoying because we hear it all the time, but those things are really so important. And like the body will heal itself if you give it what it needs. It doesn't have to be so complicated all the time.
Yeah.
And if you've done all those things for 6 months and you still feel crappy, then I would say go get a GI map if it's digestive. If it's hormonal, or you feel like it's hormonal, go get like your biomarkers done and test
Sorry
your
to
blood.
interrupt. How would you know the difference between if it's hormonal versus
Digestive?
Yeah.
Usually it's both.
Yeah.
There's usually crossover between the two. I would say it's usually hormonal if you're getting a lot of hormonal acne, if you're getting hair in places that women don't usually get hair, if your periods are missing or extremely irregular, if you're having a lot of mood swings. Digestive is usually like you feel digestive symptoms, but sometimes you don't have digestive symptoms, even if you have digestive issues. They might show up as a more hormonal thing. But again, like there's usually crossover between the two.
Okay, that makes sense. So then start with like the foundational. If that doesn't clear up, then do a test, and then send the test to like a holistic nutritionist, probably.
Yeah.
Is what I would send it to.
Yeah.
Not like a Western.
Yeah. Or like a functional medicine doctor.
Or a functional medicine.
Or go to a functional medicine doctor and have them run the test and like assess it for you and give you a plan. But a lot of the times the functional medicine doctors overprescribe supplements, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. It depends on what you need.
Okay. And then blood markers, I'm not sure how much of this stuff you go into, but like what are the specific blood markers that you should be looking at that are, I feel like, most important for most people?
I would do cortisol, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and thyroid.
Okay. Yeah, thyroid. Okay.
But a full thyroid panel, because usually when you go to the doctor, they just test like your free thyroid, but you want like TSH, reverse T3, you want like the full picture of everything. So that's why functional testing, I think, is the best.
For sure. What do you see like trend wise with people now in terms of what they should be focusing on, or like what they're lacking in, I guess, in general?
Like the good trends or
I think both. Or no, probably like what people need to focus on more.
Okay.
Outside of the foundational stuff.
Yeah.
Because you said something on like a note to me earlier, like majoring in the minors, that people being like, I should really stay away from seed oils. Meanwhile, they're sleeping like 4 hours a night.
Exactly. Yeah. I love the term majoring in the minors. I don't know who originated that.
I have no clue. It's the first time I heard it was when you said it.
Oh.
I was like, it's so
I've heard it like a million times.
True.
But yeah, people love to major in the minors, meaning like they'll focus on seed oils or like a supplement for mitochondrial health. Meanwhile, like their diet is an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
And I'll have people ask me all the time, like my friends, like, oh, what supplement should I take for this? And I know their diet. And I'm like, don't even worry about the supplement. Like,
stop eating McDonald's.
Yeah. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is just an excuse to try and like skip over the actual work of doing what you know you should be doing to get healthy.
100%.
Because we all know, like, there is not a scarcity of information on the internet. Like,
It's too much.
whatever you need, you can find the information. It's just the application of it that I think people are struggling with.
Yeah.
And they want to skip over all the work and just go to the quick fix, which is the supplement or,
Right.
you know, the next trend. But it
Right.
never ends up working. And that's when people get stuck in this cycle of trend after supplement
Yeah.
after like these tiny little things, cold plunging, sauna, which are all great.
Yeah.
But if you're not actually like building a strong foundation of health, then it's never going to last.
None of this stuff matters. Yeah. It's similar to weight loss too, where it's like people want the quick fix weight loss thing of whatever the latest diet is, the GLP-1s, whatever. But it's like you can't avoid the fact that you just need to work out and eat. Like calories in, calories out.
Exactly.
That's it. I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of like a hormone panel, you posted a reel, I think yesterday, that was kind of going through like the major hormones to be aware of. Can you, for people that really have no clue, it's mostly women listening, run through those different types of hormones and how to know which is kind of off balance without doing a test?
Yeah. This is where it's tricky because the reel I made breaks it down like in a very basic, easy to understand way. But hormones are like a web and they're all kind of signaling to each other different things. And so when one is off, likely the other ones are off because it's like a trickle down effect. For example, if you have high testosterone, you might have hormonal acne, low motivation, low sex drive. Oh, wait, no, high testosterone. Did I say high or low?
You said low sex drive.
Okay, so if you have high testosterone, your sex drive's fine.
Yeah,
if you have a low testosterone, you're going to have low sex drive.
Yep.
But yeah, there's different symptoms correlated with different things. For example, if you have high estrogen, your boobs are going to be really sore. You might have digestive issues. Low estrogen, your periods are going to be irregular. But I think what most people should be paying attention to is how regular your periods are, how much you're bleeding, if you're having a lot of PMS, if you're getting spotting during the month, because our periods they indicate so much about our health. It's not just if you're fertile or you're not fertile.
Right.
It's like how much energy do you actually have available in your body? Because if you're under eating and over exercising, that's going to send your period on a crazy roller coaster because you don't have enough energy reserves to actually produce a child. So your body shuts off your cycle. Like there's so many things that our hormonal cycle can tell us about our overall health.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't have to be like so complex. With the whole seed cycling thing, for example, a lot of people like eat. Have you heard of seed cycling?
Yeah, but explain it for anyone that doesn't know.
People eat during people eat certain seeds or nuts during certain phases of the cycle to like support the hormones that are happening. And I think that makes it way too complicated, personally.
Yeah, like it's overwhelming. Yeah.
So I don't think we should focus so much on like which hormone is high or low. I think testing is more important for that if you're at that point. It's just more about supporting our body and being aware of when we feel more fatigued, when we have more energy, and listening to that rather than being like, okay, I'm in my luteal phase. I can't work out because I'm about to get my period.
Because it can get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so much on social media of like during your luteal phase, you should not be doing this, eating these seeds, blah, blah, blah. And it becomes like just so structured and like masculine and like overthinking everything. And it's just like, listen to how you feel.
Yeah. And we can get completely neurotic about it.
So neurotic.
And also like every woman is so different. And like the 28-day cycle is a great marker to go by. But some people's are 20 days. Some people's are 31 days. And so you can't calculate it so specifically and be like, okay, on this day I need to eat flax seeds and do a low impact workout. And it's just
then you never leave your house.
Yeah.
Like how are you going to exist in the world?
Spiral forever
if you're like being psycho.
Yeah.
And then what about, okay, so that's testosterone, estrogen. What about things like DHEA, progesterone? Do those matter as much or like to people should be?
Progesterone is really important for calming and relaxing your body and fertility. High progesterone is very rare unless you're doing like fertility treatments. Low progesterone, you can have irregular periods, fatigue. And it's just a really important fertility marker. DHEA works with testosterone. So it helps to balance out your androgens, which are your male pattern hormones. So that one's important too. And then there's FSH and LH.
Okay, I remember this from egg freezing. FSH
Yes. The
fertility.
follicle stimulating hormone.
Follicle stimulating.
And luteinizing hormone.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of hormones. There's also like insulin and cortisol we don't think of them as like sex hormones, but they are too. They all impact each other.
Okay, interesting. So then with birth control.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on birth control? Like just being a holistic nutritionist.
I don't love birth control. I think it's an amazing tool for women. I think it's made us more independent. It's brought us a lot of empowerment over our bodies, and it gives us a lot more choices, right?
Yeah.
But I think it suppresses our natural hormones, and ultimately, I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest problem I see with birth control is just people being on it for so long, and then the doctor, OBGYN, whatever, says, oh, you want to get pregnant? Let's get off it, like now. And then they're like, my hormones are so messed up. And then weight, get acne, and everything's just all over the place. And then it takes a while for your body to rebalance again. And for some people, they're fine. They get literally no symptoms at all. But for a lot of people, it's a mess.
It's a mess, yeah. For people that are getting off of birth control, this is also a selfish question because I've been on birth control since I was 16, and I like have
still on it?
Yeah, I have an IUD still, Skyla. I know, but I want to get it out. Here. I have a multi-layered problem, which we'll talk about PCOS after this. Okay. I have PCOS, and so I'm nervous because I can't really ever get into like a natural. That's maybe a limiting belief. Maybe I can get myself there, but I like the cycle tracking is really difficult with PCOS. So it's easier, especially in your relationship, to like not think about it.
Yeah, not be worried.
Yeah. But so for people listening that are on birth control, are there things that they can do to like more easily deal with the transition? Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't really wean off birth control.
Can't really wean off birth control.
You're
Yeah. Like take
out
out a fifth of my IUD at a time.
I actually not really sure with IUDs.
It's Skyla is it's different than the pill. I know.
Yeah.
Because I still ovulate. I have PCOS, so let's say half the months.
Okay.
But people on the pill don't ovulate, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So
Do you
it's
have
different.
the copper IUD or
No, it's hormonal.
Okay.
Skyla, yeah.
I honestly don't really know.
Yeah.
Like I know more about like the oral contraceptives because it has to pass through your whole body. Like you get really depleted of B vitamins and those sorts of things. But with the IUD, I actually don't know what it depletes your body of.
Yeah, I know they're different because somebody was saying to me that with oral contraceptives, sometimes it can change like who you're attracted to.
Yes.
But with the IUD, that's not the case. So it's
great.
different, which is great.
That's so weird. When I heard I was like, that's really scary.
Shooketh.
Like imagine you stop taking birth control and
like,
you hate your husband.
Yeah, reason for divorce.
Yeah.
He's like, take the pills.
Yeah, take them.
Take them
again.
Okay, yeah. So then let's say if somebody's like on oral contraceptives, how do you kind of wean yourself off? Like probably start with a hormone panel. I don't know.
I think
I'm overwhelmed.
Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea to do a hormone panel right after you get off, just because everything's going awry.
Yeah, everything's going awry.
Because you have like a natural hormonal swing back, right? So when you're taking synthetic hormones, your natural hormone production gets suppressed.
Yeah.
And so now your body's all confused. But it depletes you a lot of B vitamins specifically.
Okay.
So I think taking a supplement afterwards can be really, really helpful. Just getting in enough vegetables, protein is like super, super important, and healthy fats. And
limiting probably like refined sugars, processed foods, because that will impact your mood even more. Yeah. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Is it kind of just a thing where you have to just ride out the first few months?
Yeah.
To like stabilize?
I had a friend that just recently got off the pill, and she was on it since she was, I think, 13. And she was texting me freaking out because she like broke out so badly in acne. Yeah. And she was like, oh my God, am I going to be like this forever? Like freaking out. And I get it. That's so stressful and scary. Yeah. But it went away after a couple months. It's just, you have to give your body time to rebalance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it scares me. Because it's like, I want to be more clear
you know?
Yeah.
And it is like, I agree with you. Birth control is obviously such an empowering tool, but also there's a way that you can look at it where it's sort of not,
I agree.
because it kind of disconnects us from
our bodies.
Yeah. Which is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So PCOS, I'm sure there's a ton of people listening that have PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in your body when you have PCOS? How can you diagnose it and I guess sort of like mitigate the symptoms with food?
Yeah. So PCOS, first of all, it's kind of scary how many people have it now.
A ton of people have.
I feel like in the past 2 years, I don't know what it is, if it's just gotten more like talked about on social media, but I feel like everybody has PCOS.
So many people have PCOS.
It's wild.
And people you wouldn't suspect too, because a lot of it's like people associate it with being heavier.
Yeah.
But you can have, I have lean PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
PCOS. How do you say PCOS? Yeah. Oh, my brain just died. So it doesn't even like correlate to that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
there's a lot of different types of PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like we don't really know why people are getting it so much. The one that we do know is the insulin resistant PCOS, which is typically linked to being heavier.
Yeah.
And it happens because your insulin and your blood sugar gets completely dysregulated and you have receptors in your ovaries. And so when you have dysregulated blood sugar and you become insulin resistant, your body starts pumping out more testosterone. And that's what leads to all the PCOS symptoms and infertility and not ovulating and these sorts of things.
Got it.
So that's one of the reasons why we know it happens. There's also birth control induced PCOS. Like you get PCOS after you come off birth control. And there's also, it's not technically PCOS, but hypothalamic amenorrhea. Have you never heard of it?
Whatever you're going to have no idea.
Amenorrhea. And it's basically when you don't get your period, you don't ovulate.
I see.
Because you're underweight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have that. I've had, I can't really remember specifically, but I believe that the reason why I got put on birth control was to regulate my periods originally. So I've always had PCOS.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I learned that was interesting, because I froze my eggs 3 years ago, is PCOS. What am I calling it? POS?
No, you're saying.
Am I saying it right? Oh, I'm just losing my mind.
You're saying it PCOS.
I'm just losing it. Is that it's not that you have a ton of cysts, is that you have a ton of follicles.
Yeah.
So it was really good for egg freezing.
Yes.
That was like the one use case where I was like, thank God I have this.
Yeah, because you probably had a ton of.
Yeah. I was like, I was laying eggs.
You're full of eggs.
Full of eggs, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't drop.
Exactly.
You don't ovulate.
You so many follicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like the one good thing. And then in terms of food, so the way I understand it is it's diagnosed if you have 2 out of the 3, which is sort of, I also wonder if maybe people are overdiagnosing. Do you think that's the thing?
I think it's tricky with anything that's like a syndrome. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, because syndrome isn't a disease. It's just diagnosed by like a set of symptoms.
Yeah.
So it's vague. It's like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. If you have digestive issues, a lot of the time the doctor's like, oh, you have IBS. But it doesn't mean anything. So that's why it's tricky with PCOS, because you can have PCOS without having polycystic ovaries. But it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. So
if you just have irregular periods and then like trouble losing weight, they could be like, you have PCOS.
You have PCOS. Which is like, it's a good diagnostic tool, but it's also not. And that goes into a whole other like rant that I could go on where like I think there's just so many syndromes that you can have, and like all these diagnoses that we're taking on as like identities, and then we have to do all these things to fix the diagnosis, and it's just like a mess.
Yeah.
But for people that really are struggling, it's an amazing diagnosis, and it changes their lives because they understand how to like remedy it and manage it and all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
I forget what the question was.
The question was how to sort of like maybe reverse it through diet, because it can be problematic it's basically when you're trying to get pregnant, it can be problematic because you're not ovulating regularly. So there's no way to like time sex correctly if you're struggling to get pregnant naturally.
Exactly. I think if you have, I'm just speaking on the insulin resistant PCOS, because that's the one that can actually like for a dietary intervention, it helps. For that, if it's insulin resistant, you need to make your body more sensitive to insulin. So less sugar, less carbohydrates. You still eat carbs, but like the right kind of carbs, like
Yeah.
potatoes, rice. Always pair the carbs with a protein because that helps blunt the blood sugar spike. Walk after meals because that's like moving all of the glucose into your muscles so that you can use it as energy rather than it just being either floating around in your blood, which is causing high blood sugar, or being stored as fat on your body. What else? You could do apple cider vinegar before a meal. That helps too. It's really just like making your diet more focused on protein and fats and less processed stuff, which is tough. But
is there a link between a GLP-1 or a semaglutide and PCOS?
yes.
Why?
I'm like, PCOS. You're honestly saying it fine. I think you're just
I don't know
freaking
why
yourself
my brain,
out.
I'm like, I keep going like, did I forget to say the C? What am I saying?
POS.
I think it's like when you start to say one word over and over again, you like start to be like, is that the
Is that
word?
a word?
Is egg a real word?
Yeah, it
Just make
just
that
sounds like a weird sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, GLP-1s are being used in the treatment of PCOS a lot, which is really kind of amazing. For people that are dealing with insulin resistance, having trouble getting pregnant, it's amazing because it helps to like manage your insulin a lot, which can make your fertility better. But I'm pretty sure like you can take a GLP-1 if you have PCOS until you get pregnant and then you have to stop.
Yeah, well, you can't be on it when you're pregnant.
Yeah,
definitely. And I also heard a use case for addiction as well because GLP-1 does something to your dopamine receptors. So that's like it's very interesting. All of the like use cases that are coming out about it.
Yeah,
let's talk about it now because I feel like there's a lot of people that are. I mean, GLP-1 also for anyone that doesn't know is Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic, semaglutide,
GLP-1. Yeah. What is your? I guess you sort of already said, but overall take on it and who's right for it.
Yeah.
Microdosing GLP-1 is a thing now because obviously we've reached a place where more than just a small subsect of the population is taking GLP-1. Like I lived in LA, we live in Miami, a lot of people are on it.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not an expert on this, so don't
say that.
Don't quote me. Well, I'm being quoted in real time. But GLP-1s, they work in a number of ways. One, they work on your brain, so they kind of blunt the cravings and the seeking of food and other things like alcohol. Now we're finding out. And they also slow your digestive system down. So basically the food sits in your stomach for longer and kind of creates that sensation of fullness. So you're not as inclined to eat. I think that for people that are obese or overweight that have been dealing with that problem for their whole lives, I think it's an amazing tool. I do think people are being given too high of a dose, and that's where a lot of the side effects are coming from. And my biggest concern with the GLP-1s is that people aren't being taught how to eat while they're on them. They're just like not eating. And so as a result of that, they're losing a lot of muscle mass. They're losing a lot of fat, but they're also losing a lot of muscle mass. And they're not being told how to come off them properly if that's an option. I know a lot of people are going to be on them for life, which I don't know.
It makes me uncomfortable to think about being on something for life.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right. But people are on a lot of medications for life. So if you're going that route, I can understand it. But if somebody's using it as a tool for weight loss, I think you need to really be focusing on protein so that you can preserve as much muscle mass as you can.
Yeah.
Because when you get off of it, if you lose a lot of muscle mass, now you're a smaller person, you've lost body fat, but you've also lost your metabolic engine.
Yeah.
And so now your metabolism is a lot slower. And if you don't learn how to like keep those habits that you had when you were on the GLP-1, you're going to gain the weight back so fast. And now you're going to be at a much metabolically worse place than you were before. Because when you're a smaller person, your metabolism already lowers.
Yeah.
So for example, if your BMR was 1800 when you were like overweight, now
what's a BMR?
Basal metabolic rate. So how many calories your body burns
per day.
at rest.
Yeah. Okay.
So if that was 1800 when you were overweight, now you lose like 20 pounds, it's going to be like 200 calories lower. That's not like scientific, but just an example.
Concept, yeah.
So you have to eat even less than you did before, and now you have less muscle. So now your BMR is even lower. So it's a tricky place that I think people can get in. And I think there needs to be a lot more education on how to eat when you're on the GLP-1 and then how to properly cycle off of it.
1,000%. You have to be like very, very, very intentional, because also the thing that happens is like you're on this, it's not a medication. What is it really? It's not a peptide, is it?
It's a peptide.
It is a peptide. Okay. So you're on a peptide that's like lowering your appetite, but your brain's still the same. So if you struggled with binge eating before and you're not addressing it, what do you think is going to happen when you get off of
It's
it?
going to come back like with a vengeance.
With a vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And I feel like a lot of, where it's problematic is people like getting it on themselves without doing any education. But I've seen some maybe like health places that are offering the education in addition to the medication, which hopefully is helpful. I have a friend that was on it. I think she was like slightly overweight, and she was on it for, I want to say like 4 months. And it's been a year since she got off of it. And she still looks incredible. She kept all of her muscle mass because she went to a place that was like very, very
very
diligent, gave her the education she needed. She's still working out, still weightlifting, and she looks amazing. So it's like, as long as you're
doing everything right,
doing it the right way,
then I think it can be a fantastic tool.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people aren't getting the education, and that's where it's
definitely
tricky.
not. Yeah.
And the dose is too high.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of experts talk about microdosing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then related to binge eating.
Yeah.
What is going on with binge eating? Because a lot of people struggle with this. It's something that I've struggled with for sure, because I'm in recovery. So like I struggle with just my dopamine receptors in general, being psychotic. What is like the root of binge eating, and how can people start to resolve it?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of different things that are causing it. And I don't want to like speak for people and say like
so many things.
What could be causing it, because I think a lot of it could be, deep-rooted trauma, your childhood, like all that sort of stuff. But I think why it's so common now is, one, because our dopamine is absolutely gone haywire. Yeah, it's completely fucked.
Yeah.
From social media and just everything that we're exposed to on a daily basis.
Our entire society.
Our entire society is just like a dopamine mess.
Yeah.
So
wait, explain that for a second for people who aren't familiar with dopamine.
Yeah. So dopamine is we think of it as like a pleasure hormone, but it's actually a motivation hormone, which is really interesting when you like learn the difference between the two. So it basically makes you seek behaviors that make you feel good. And so, for example, when you pick up your phone to go on social media, what are you looking for? You're looking for validation. You're looking for entertainment.
Quick hit dopamine.
Quick hits of dopamine. So scrolling on social media, TV, food, like all of these things that make us feel good, that is our brain releasing dopamine. And so I think that issue that we have a dopamine nightmare paired with all of this food, the ultra processed food that's been designed by food scientists to
be addictive,
to be addictive and trigger all of the feel good hormones in our brains on a crazy level. Those two things paired together, people lose control over food. And I think with binge eating, it's like so surrounded with like shame and like hiding things and guilt. And so you just get in this cycle of like wanting dopamine so bad, and knowing that like a reliable source of dopamine is this ultra processed food, and it's readily available and easy. You're going to go to that every single time.
It is literally addiction. Like, as somebody who's experienced alcohol addiction and binge eating, it's exactly the same thing that happens in your brain. It's like uncontrollable. It's something where you have to emotionally soothe yourself, and it's crazy, and most people struggle with it.
Yeah. And it sucks. And I've never dealt with it like obviously, like I've binged it before. I think we all have. Yeah. We can say that. But I've never personally like dealt with it in that extreme of a way. But when I see people talk about it on social media, they say like they basically like black out in a way, and you don't even want the food, but it's just like an uncontrollable thing. Mm-hmm. And then after, you feel so like horrible and shameful and terrible.
Yeah. And it's like, I can speak from my experience and anything that you think is helpful that you've learned about learning how to, I guess, mitigate it.
Mhm.
But for me, what's really helpful is controlling like where I am getting my dopamine from and minimizing the quick hit dopamine. So I don't look at my phone for the first like hour of the day. It's like just me time, like to get my brain to a good place. I go outside, and I'm really aware of when I'm trying to get that like quick hit stuff because
Yeah.
it's better to produce dopamine in a way that's like working towards a goal that you have, or I don't know if you can share other ways to get dopamine. That's
dopamine?
not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like going for a walk
Yeah.
will give you dopamine, getting outside. And I think like through the clients that I've tried to help with this, again, I don't have personal experience. So like, I don't even know if this is helpful, but usually with like things that deal with impulse control, like there's usually like a 10-minute window where you're like battling with yourself to be like, I shouldn't do this. I know I shouldn't do this. But then like you either give in or you can control yourself, and usually you give in to the urge. But if you take yourself out of the environment that you're in, for example, you're like sitting on, there's like a pattern. You're sitting on your couch, you're watching TV, and you're like, I really want to like eat right now. If you just like take yourself out of that environment, like go take a shower, go like put music on, go outside for a walk, just change your environment. That usually helps not reinforce the pattern in your brain.
And it's 20 minutes is what I found. So as long as you can get past those 20 minutes, you'll be fine. And also every single time, this is how I think about it, every single time you give into that urge, you're only strengthening that neural pathway. But if you can start like interrupting it and like one day at a time of like, I didn't do it this time, I like broke the urge that I had, then it's like you're creating a new neural pathway and it gets easier over time.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that's helpful for people struggling with that. And then sugar addiction is like kind of closely related too. So how can people that are maybe starting at a place now where they're like eating a ton of processed foods, fully addicted to sugar, start to get out of that? In terms of like habits, mindset, but also foods that maybe help support that?
Mm-hmm. I think with diet, I found you're in one of two camps. You're the person who does really well with lowering things. For example, like if you eat a ton of sugar and you're like, okay, now I can have sugar on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like you just lower the amount. Or there's people that do really well with like very strict black and white rules. They're just like, I'm not having it anymore. For 30 days, I'm cutting it out completely. I fall into the camp of the second one where I'm like, I'm better with having none than just a little. Because with sugar, I always say there's like a sugar monster in all of us. If you feed it a little bit, it'll like start to get strong. And then if you keep feeding it, it starts getting crazy. And the more sugar you have, the stronger the sugar monster gets. And so sometimes you just gotta like,
it's like full sobriety versus moderation.
Exactly.
It's like cold turkey, no.
Yeah, like you don't, sugar and alcohol are completely different, but like you don't tell an alcoholic, oh, you can have a shot of liquor on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, you're gonna pay.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. But just being like aware of how much sugar you're consuming, because once you start to read labels, you're like, oh shit, there's sugar in literally everything. Like ketchup. Sauces are where it gets crazy. Like there's a lot of sugar in sauces.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I love sauce. Like
I love sauce. Just cook that.
Sauce. But when you like really realize like all the small things that you're eating throughout the day, how much sugar you're actually consuming,
it's a lot.
Then you're like, oh, like I didn't even think I was having that much sugar, but like I actually really am.
Yeah.
Even if you like don't eat sweets or dessert, like you could still be having like 30 grams of sugar a day. Like,
yeah. And are there healthy places to get sugar, like berries, or are you like pro dates?
Yeah, I love dates.
I love dates. Okay, good.
I love dates. I love dates, berries, fruit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they hear people say you shouldn't have sugar, they're like, can I have fruit? I'm like, yeah, you can have fruit.
Like healthy.
But don't eat like 10 dates in a day, because that's still,
right. That's also
sugar is still sugar.
Yeah. I go a little crazy. Yeah. And also too, the thing with sugar is that not surprisingly, I can have a sugar problem. And everyone's like, this girl's diet's crazy. Her eating habits are wild. But what I found is like, you feel like it will be, there's so many links between this and alcohol. Oh my God, it's wild. Like you think that it's always going to be an issue, that you're constantly thinking about sugar, constantly having to like restrain yourself and use willpower and blah, blah, blah. But it's actually, I find once you hit like 5 to 7 days of no sugar, you want it less, which is comforting to know. That like that is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like after a week, you don't even eat it, and your taste buds reset, your brain resets, and then you feel better.
Yeah. And more protein too, I find helps me to like crave it less. Another thing with binge eating too is, at least for me that I found, is I typically am not hungry in the morning, but if I force myself to eat like a protein heavy meal in the beginning of the day, then later on at night when I feel like most people's binge eating happens, that's like you don't have as much of a craving for that.
Yeah. Because there's also, I feel like, a huge mental component with like being restrictive and like body image and all that stuff with binge eating because it's like a self-sabotaging thing. And so if you're like in your brain, I'm not eating today until lunch because like I want to be skinny, then you're already in that restrictive mindset. And then your body and your brain always retaliate against you.
Yeah.
Like,
What goes up must come down.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like if you're constantly just like thinking about like, I can't eat, I need to restrict, like less food, less food, less food, your brain is going to be like, no, I need more food. And then you're going to binge.
Yeah. And then you're knee deep in a peanut butter jar.
Exactly. Knee deep.
Just me?
You can fit your whole leg in a peanut butter jar?
Knee deep in a peanut butter jar.
You probably could, honestly.
Peanut butter is, oh God, it's the best. Okay, so exercise. You run a lot. I know you have thought a lot about this because you run a lot, and you posted recently something about how like sometimes for certain people low impact isn't the best. How do women start to know like what is the best exercise for them? Should they be timing it with their cycle or just being a little more basic about it?
I think it's all trial and error. Unfortunately, like there's no easy way to figure it out. I like personally, I always thought weightlifting was the best for everyone because I mean building muscle is so important, and I think me going through that phase was very important, and I'm so glad that I did. But if you like with anything, if you overdo it, your body again is gonna retaliate against you. But everyone's so different, and I think you have to try out different things in order to see what your body responds best to. And another thing that's important to realize is like anytime you change exercise modalities, like you might either get inflammation or you might feel really good, but like you have to stick with it for at least 3 to 6 months to see if it's something that's even working for you.
Because I'm jealous of your ability to run. I have to build up my leg strength to be able to run again. But it's like not even for physical or for physical health for me running, but like mental health wise, it is the best exercise. It is the best. And I'm like pissed. I'm like, legs, can you just be a little bit stronger? But strength training for me has been like, because I was a cardio girl for most of my life, and strength training truly has helped my brain so much. Like eating more protein, eating more animal sources, lifting weights has been like really helpful for me, but other people aren't like that.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone should lift weights at some point in their life, preferably before you're 30, because then after that, it's harder to build muscle. But you still obviously can. Like at 30, once you hit 30, it's not just like you can't build muscle anymore.
Yeah.
But it's easier like when we're younger. But muscle is what makes your body more sensitive to insulin. So it's so important for hormones and longevity and everything. So I'm not against weightlifting by any means. It's incredible, and I still weightlift, but I just do more cardio.
You're doing like freaking triathlons right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Oh my gosh. I know I saw you at the gym on like a mission running.
Oh,
I was like,
God.
damn, girl. You and your boyfriend were just like chugging along.
Ben next to me is sweat flying everywhere, slapping me in the
Exactly.
face.
You see me like trying to build a butt in the corner. Project Build a Butt is what I call it.
Project Build a Butt.
Project Build a Butt.
And Build a Bear.
Yeah. So what's your take on supplements? Like, what is the line between you get your biomarkers, how much of that should you be like relying on food for versus actually needing to supplement?
I think so much of it depends on your gut health, because you can eat the most perfect diet, but if you have bad gut health, you're not actually absorbing things. That's why like a lot of the times people that have SIBO or really bad IBS, they are deficient in so many nutrients because they have malabsorption, so their body can't actually like hold on to the nutrients.
Is that the same thing as the epithelial lining you're talking about, or is that different?
That too. So there's so many different things that you can have go wrong with your digestive system. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Mm-hmm. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, and then the other one is leaky gut. There's a ton more, but those are just those three. So it depends on a lot of things which supplements I think people should be taking. One I think a lot of people should take is magnesium, just because our soil like that the crops grow in is so depleted
Interesting.
that a lot of us don't get enough magnesium.
Magnesium citrate, bisglycinate, like which magnesium?
I like the blend of all of them.
Okay.
What else? B
Like a
vitamins
B.
are good. But if you have acne, B vitamins aren't great. So there's like so many things like this, but that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Probiotics can be good for some people, not so good for others. Probiotics, you have to really pay attention to quality. But that's kind of just like across the board.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into brands.
Okay.
Probiotic brands, protein powder brands.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other categories of food that people would want to know about. Food supplements that people would want to know about. Definitely protein powder and probiotics.
Probiotics, seed.
Seed. Okay.
Seed is a really good one.
Okay. Good to know that's not just like an influencer brand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they actually have like a lot of science,
Mm-hmm.
like backed things and like third party testing, and
Cool.
they do all that stuff. So that's actually a very reputable brand.
PCOS.
PCOS.
English.
Which other one? Oh, Ritual is actually a
Ritual.
good brand too.
Okay, interesting.
Thorn for like any supplement.
Love Thorn.
Is great. Yeah.
Yep.
They're fantastic. Protein powder. I actually don't take protein powder, so I don't like. Oh, Naked.
Naked. Okay, we
Naked is
talked
a
about
good
this.
one.
Yeah.
And Truvani.
Truvani. I
Yeah.
love Truvani.
Truvani's
Truvani's the
good.
best. Okay. Because you want to be careful of like, I don't want to like shit on any brands right now, but the ones that have a ton of ingredients or like flavors.
Yeah. Like my boyfriend uses this one brand that I won't name, but it's like full of sucralose
Yeah.
and artificial sweeteners and stuff like that, and I'm just like, get rid of that.
Because you
can't
think
have
it's
that
probably
in
better
house.
to have protein from like foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like eat a
Right.
steak. But I also understand
Yeah.
like if you're like if you start tracking your protein, you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god, how am I supposed to eat
That's my thing.
this much protein?"
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, it's really tough.
I have to supplement at least like 30 grams with a protein powder.
Yeah.
But I'll like put it into Greek yogurt. So then it's like
Double.
60 grams
Yeah.
of protein in like one cup.
Especially if you're trying to build muscle, like you have
Yeah.
to eat
A lot of protein. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then protein bars. Okay. I love when I'm traveling, I love a good protein bar with like 5,000 ingredients.
Which ones do you like? Like the barbell ones?
Yeah, sometimes I'll grab one of the. I'll have those like once every few months because they're just good.
That's fine.
They're good, but there is like a protein problem happening where it's like, why is there protein popcorn?
No.
Eat a freaking egg.
It's insane. And like I get the idea. Okay, like we're kind of headed in the wrong direction, but also like completely the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Like we gotta stop.
she's laughing at eat a freaking egg.
Freaking egg.
But like we're putting protein in crazy shit now.
Crazy shit. Like just eat a piece of fish. And I know we don't want to eat a piece of
I
fish
know.
sometimes. Like I used to be so addicted to the Perfect bars. Have you ever had those?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're so good.
They're
But
so
there's
good.
so much sugar.
So much sugar and so many calories and so much fat.
So many calories. Oh my
I
god.
used to be so addicted to those. I like really thought that I had a problem.
I
was
yeah.
like, I can't. I would go to the store every day and buy just one because if I had like 3 of them, I would eat all 3.
Welcome to my world with every food ever.
Yeah, it was literally a
Oh
problem.
my God.
I did put
Perfect
myself
bar.
in timeout for those.
Yeah. Because those are like almost 400 calories and it's
Yeah.
all sugar.
Yeah, it's like a full meal replacement, but like
Yeah. But you're not even
You don't treat it
full
as such.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, so best protein bars if there are. Maybe putting aside like the candy protein bars.
Okay.
Like the Bear Bells and
There's a brand called Epic, which is literally just a meat stick.
I love Epic.
Yeah. Have you had the
God, they're
cranberry
so good.
bison ones?
Yes.
They're so good.
So good.
So
I
good.
love Epic.
Chomps, obviously.
Okay, so you're just
Another meat
recommending meat.
Yeah. No. There's some protein bars that I like. I like Aloha, although
yeah.
those have like a good amount of sugar, but like
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
What about David protein? Everyone's those now. It's like
You know, it's-
150 calories and like 30 grams of protein.
oh, that's a little suspicious.
Right.
You know, he's the founder of RX Bar. Is the
Yeah.
one who made those.
Mm-hmm.
So they also, did you see they came out with like fish?
David?
David started
So
selling.
we offers protein bars and fish.
and he came out with like literally
it.
it's
Got it. Got it.
it's a package of 2 fillets of cod in a
So you can get, I'm sorry, you can either have a peanut butter fudge protein bar or you can have a slab of fish. It's like, how do you want to get your protein today?
I appreciate the sentiment, but like,
I'm so it feels like there should be like a product in between.
I know.
There should be like a
He's like, oh, you guys think my protein bars are full of crap? Okay, here's a flesh.
I'm dying. Oh my god. Okay. Roger that.
Actually, I haven't looked at the ingredients from David.
I bet his fish is pretty good because, like, it's just fish. Okay. More little questions that I have. Creatine. Is this a thing that people should be doing?
I've never taken creatine, but in low doses for women, it's good. Like 2 to 3 grams.
Generally, or for, like, building muscle?
For brain health.
Oh, for brain health.
Yeah, and muscle building.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because it helps with focus, is what I've heard, too.
Memory and focus.
Memory and focus. Okay, interesting.
It's actually, like, the most studied supplement.
Really?
Of everything.
So in low doses, then you wouldn't deal with, like, the water retention thing that people talk about?
Yeah.
What does low dose mean?
I think 2 to 5 grams is considered a low dose.
Okay.
Anything more than that, you might get some water retention.
Yeah. Okay. Greens powders. I don't even have this on my list. I'm just, like, things that I'm thinking about.
Depends on the greens powder.
Okay.
A lot of them are full of sucralose and artificial flavors and all that sort of stuff. I think they're good if you're traveling and you can't get your vegetables in. They're good, but not necessary.
Athletic Greens is okay?
I like Athletic Greens.
Athletic Greens, okay. And then there's like a gummy brand that I'm not going to say, but it's probably not the best.
Greens.
Yeah, we can say it.
I actually don't know.
The gummies are good.
I've tried them.
The no sugar ones I feel like maybe are fine.
Okay.
I don't know.
But they're probably still sweetened, I would assume. Like monk fruit or something?
I think they have monk fruit in them, yeah. But
I actually don't mind monk fruit.
The problem is, I feel like with the gummy form, at least for me who's a sugar addict or can be, is I'm like, a pack of gummies in the morning is like my dream. So it's like I'm having it that I'm like,
fake.
Yeah, it feels fake. And then I'm like, I have 5 packs of greens and I'm like, so healthy.
Yeah.
I'm like binge eating greens.
Binge eating greens gummies. Your sugar effect.
Yeah, like literally though.
But that's like the epitome of like health and wellness.
Yes.
Like the whole health and wellness thing is like binge eating greens gummies.
Yeah, like where sometimes I wonder.
Where did it go wrong?
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if God just like is looking down and is like, what the hell
are you guys doing?
Like, what is going on?
You're fighting over seed oils?
Yeah, just eat a vegetable. Like, you don't need to be having these crazy gummies.
Protein popcorn.
Yeah, I know. But it, like, everybody's so health and wellness focused nowadays. So, like, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I get it.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, I want to create protein gum.
Yeah. Is that possible?
Don't take it. Don't take my idea. Don't take my idea. I don't know. She made protein popcorn. I feel like anything's possible now.
Yeah.
These food scientists. But yeah, and then that also just makes me think about like social media in general is so problematic with health stuff because you can really drive yourself insane. And that's part of the reason why I love your page is because you speak about things with such nuance and action, and you're not clickbaity. Yeah. A lot of people, because I get it as a creator, it's like you have to grab attention.
Yeah.
Virality is important, but then you're saying just like blanket statements and people are running with it.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's like, I'm not innocent in all this on social media. Like I have a mental battle that's going on all the time.
Yeah.
In order to reach more people, it's better to have a clickbaity title and then like try to maybe go into a little bit of nuance like in the video. But I think it's just like reinforcing the cycle of making people jump from like different diet to different diet because there's like the carnivore camp, then there's like the medical medium camp, and like there's a million of them everywhere. And it's these crazy people making these crazy bold claims, gaining this like cult following of people who are like looking up to them like they're God.
Yeah.
And then like, for example, the carnivore MD, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He doesn't even eat carnivore anymore. He eats like animal based, which is like fruit and honey and all this stuff, which I think is great. But like you started this whole revolution of the carnivore diet and you don't even do it. So it's like you start these things to create this like community of people who follow whatever you say. And then later you're like, oh, actually, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And
once you've built your...
Yeah, once you've built your thing. And I get it. Like at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
You know, and 100%. You have to use strategy and you kind of have to play the game sometimes, but it's damaging to people's health.
Yeah, it is. And people need to have discernment and like increase their like awareness of their own bodies, because it's a business at the end of the day. These people are, you know, they're trying to help, obviously, and there's little helpful things from everybody, but figuring out what feels right to you is really important.
Yeah, the discernment thing has been driving me crazy though, because like also like yes, creators, we have a responsibility, but as the viewer, you also need to have your brain on.
100%.
Because like there's so many videos that I see every day where like I'm watching the video, I'm like, oh, this doesn't apply to me. But there's this whole thing on social media where it's like, I've reposted this video the other day where this girl was like, I don't remember what her story was, but she was talking about how she saw this girl post a video about how, it was this mom saying like, I hope that I have a healthy baby. Like, that's all I want in my pregnancy.
Okay.
And she was like, I opened the comments and people were like, oh, well, my baby's not healthy and she's still really loved. So like, that's so crazy that you're saying that you want a healthy baby, because do you mean that people don't love their children if they have disabilities? And I'm like, what?
People are so crazy.
Like, what do you expect her to say? Oh, no, I hope that my child has a health problem.
Yeah. It's
insane. And I see it all the time in my comments too. It's like, well, what about this? I'm like, this
or when you shared your
you?
eating in a day video and someone was like, well, how am I supposed to make this working at home or something like that? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And it was literally just like yogurt and berries.
Yeah, they're like, well, I don't have time because I work a 9 to 5. How am I supposed to do this? And I was like, you put yogurt in a bowl and add fruit.
You know, it's so weird because as a social media creator, sometimes I feel like I have to add an asterisk for everything.
Right.
But I have to get out of that in my head. Yeah. Because there's always going to be somebody that's upset about anything. Yeah. No matter what. Discernment, people.
Discernment. Like recently I posted this video about lipedema, which is, have you heard of lipedema?
No. Lipedema?
Lipedema.
Okay.
It's this crazy trend that's happening on social media. It's a medical condition where basically you have fat on your body that you can't lose.
Okay.
So for example, like,
is this like a real syndrome? Because I feel like all people have a certain amount.
It's a real medical condition.
Okay, interesting.
It's like fat that you like literally can't lose on your body, and it like hurts and you bruise and like you have to get it surgically removed. People will get like their legs will have like lipedema. Like it's a legitimate medical condition. Yeah. But people on social media are like, I get a gajillion videos. Jenna gets a gajillion. Jenna was like, do I have lipedema? I'm like, no. Like, you just have a little bit of cellulite, like every woman in the world.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's crazy. So now all of these people, I got all of these DMs this past month because it was kept going viral. Like, do I have lipedema? Like, I'm so worried. Do I need to go to the surgeon? And like, blah, blah, blah. So I made this video and I was like, guys, you don't have lipedema. Right. Like, it's normal. I pinched my leg. I said, if you can see fat when you pinch your leg, you have subcutaneous fat. Right. That's normal. Doesn't mean you have a medical condition. Right. In the comments of this video were all people that actually have lipedema, or like,
this is not for you.
Yeah, saying this is so disrespectful to the people who actually have lipedema, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but like, use your discernment. This video is not for you. Right. I actually said, this is a medical condition. Let's not overdiagnose ourselves.
Right. You're being helpful to them.
Yeah. Yeah. But people were taking it the completely wrong way. And I was like, this is why.
Well, it's also the thing with cortisol face that everyone was so confused about. Yeah. Like, everybody thought they had cortisol face, and it was like, actually, you would realize you didn't have cortisol face if you lost like 10 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, some people just hold on to more water. Right. Or some people just have a rounder face.
Right.
Like,
there's so many.
And then you see all these people jumping on it like, this is my what's that tool? My gua sha routine to get rid of cortisol face. And I'm like, shut up.
Everyone has nothing. Shut up.
Like, I was getting so, and there's a new thing for this like every month, and I'm like,
stop. I know. Oh my God, I can't imagine. Your feed is probably so crazy.
Absolutely
so crazy. But your social media content is genuinely very, very good. Like, it's very nuanced. It's not clickbaity. Like, I understand you have to like grab attention to a certain point, but your content is like very educational, very informative, and done really, really well.
Thank you.
So if anyone wants to follow you, which you all should, where can they find you on social media?
Instagram is _graceful wellness.
Who has graceful wellness without the underscore?
I actually messaged this girl.
Okay.
And I said, hi, can I, like, do you need your, like, I was asking if I could.
Yeah.
She read it and then responded. I was like,
did you offer her money? Sometimes I'll offer like a few $100.
Well, she hasn't posted since like 20.
I hate that.
10 or something.
I hate that.
I should probably try again.
You should try again. Yeah, you should try again. Okay, caveat. And then
TikTok is graceful.wellness. Links in the bio.
Her links are in
Links in
our
the bio for
description of
everything.
Spotify. Thank you so much for being on. This is really helpful.
Thanks for having me.